Great day. It's Amanda, and I wanted to come to you briefly on the topic, and that topic today is the blocks won't stop God. Let me give my disclaimer. You know, the thing that I basically stand on is, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy. See, even now, the enemy is trying to trip me up with my words. I'm not a stutterer, and this is just beginning, recently, because I have a word. I have something to say, and the devil ain't gonna shut me up. And let me tell you something. The blocks are designed to try to discourage you from pursuing the plan and purposes of God, but you cannot feed into it. Understand this, that as long as the earth remains, there'll be seed time and harvest. No block on the earth or otherwise will stop the plan that God has for you. And this is why it's very important to spend time in prayer. That's why it's very important to spend time meditating on the promises of God. That's why it's very important to get an accountability partner, somebody you can stand in faith with, to assemble with other believers. This world will beat you up. This world will tell you you won't amount to anything. And these are all blocks designed to mess with your head. These are all blocks to get you to stop pursuing what the Lord told you to do. Understand that the blocks will not stop God. The blocks will not stop what the Lord promised you. The blocks will not stop it. I heard somebody say delayed but not denied. You know what? You need to get radical about the denial. You need to get radical about the delay. What do you mean the delay? Ecclesiastes 3 tells us it's a time for every purpose under heaven. I'm at a point right now where I don't even want to deal with the delay. You're not going to block what God promised me. You're not going to block the promise that the Lord told me in secret. You're not going to block the word of God. He said his word won't return unto you void, but it will prosper in the thing that which he sent it. The blocks will not stop God. Let me say that again. The blocks will not stop God. Nobody has that much power to stop what the Lord is doing. Learn from the test that the Lord is presenting before you. He says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver them out of them all. You know what? Your past can't even stop what God has for you. You need to renew your mind. We cannot be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you be able to prove what is that good, that perfect, and acceptable will of God. Let me tell you something. The blocks won't stop God. This is not some motivation. This is not empty spiritual rhetoric. I'm telling you, if you will believe this word, you can take it and run with it. Don't take my word for it. Go into your Bible yourself and learn how to take that word piece by piece, line upon line, precept upon precept, and study it. Break it down till you can't break it down anymore. Chew it up, spit it out, and chew it again. I'm telling you right now, the blocks won't stop God. You know what? Don't let the ignorance of folks who don't know any better, and that's not to put yourself on a pedestal, but don't let fools lead you into a ditch. A fool will tell you, well, it might not be the will of God. A fool that don't know the word will tell you, maybe the Lord was trying to show you something. No, I don't want to hear that, because the blocks won't stop God. Yeah, we got to submit ourselves to leadership. Let me tell you something. If you have a rebellious attitude, God, it wasn't even a block. It was your ignorance. It was your inability to submit to authority. So I don't want to get on here and sound like someone who is just scattering folks, but I'll tell you one thing. You need to get a backbone. That's what you need. Most people don't have a backbone. Most people don't have the fortitude to press forward because they've been so broken down by their own limited thinking. How long are we going to say, you know what, I want to blame this person and that person, and it's because of what they said to me, and after that I couldn't really get myself together. Listen, honey, after a while, that song is a pity party. That's what it is. The blocks won't stop God. Look, do you want it or don't you want it? Because a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, not some of his ways, all of his ways. Can't make a decision. You know what? I want to do it. No, I ain't gonna do it now. Wait, let me get back to you on that. You're double-minded. Make a decision. What did the Lord tell you to do? And a lot of times we don't want to humble ourselves and then blame it on the other person. That's not a block. You didn't want to humble yourself. You didn't want to look stupid. You didn't want to put yourself out there on the line. And you know what? It feels like being cut right now, but this is not being cut. This is being refined. Do you know a diamond in its raw form doesn't look like much? It looks like a rock. It looked like a stone, but when they cut it, you can see the different facets in it. There are different types of diamonds. They develop under pressure. It don't look like much until you cut it, until you shine that thing up. And that's what it is. During the block, you need to be asking the Lord, what do you want me to do, Lord? Because let me tell you something. The devil cannot rig your screen. Let me tell you that again. The devil, hell, Satan, dark principalities, they don't have no power. You got to learn how to wrestle in the spirit. You got to learn how to contend for your promise. You got to say, I'm not going to let go until you bless me. I know what God said, and if he did it before, he can do it again. You know what? It's a new day with new mercy. The blocks won't stop God. And you got to make a decision in your own mind and say, you know what? I don't care how bad this thing looks. The block is not going to stop God. Now, you may have to change your approach. You may have to humble yourself and ask for help. He says the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers have been few. You know, maybe it's time to delegate, but the blocks won't stop God. You know, the blocks won't stop God. Learn this, that faith without works is dead, but the Lord will always give us an instruction. He will give us a way of escape out of every temptation. You know, I'm not here to give you any type of counsel, but I'm here to let that one know. No, the block won't stop God. You know, who's in your circle? Who's in your ear? What are you meditating upon? What's coming in your eye gate, your ear gate? What are you releasing out of your mouth? What are you writing down? You know, who are you having conversation with? The blocks won't stop God. Are you running your mouth to the point where your enemy knows your every move? That's not a block. You didn't learn how to be quiet. You told all your heart. A fool tells all his heart. You got to learn how to say certain things I must become prudent about. You know, are folks afraid to tell you their business because they don't want it leaked to the whole world? Because once they tell you, you're going to tell one, don't tell nobody else, but I'm going to let you know, I heard through the grapevine. That's where you're getting into gossip and slander, immaturity. You know, that's not a block, that's immaturity. And you got to pass the test or you cannot progress to the next level. So understand, the blocks won't stop God. The devil can't put a muzzle on your mouth. Understand, when you pray in secret, he'll reward you openly. But the block won't stop God. No, he said he has thoughts of peace towards us. Peace. It's not a block from God. It ain't from God. I'm here to let you know. I don't know what you may be going through right now, but the Lord wants you to be successful. The Lord wants you to be healed and set free. It does not mean you won't go through a trial. It does not mean you won't go through a tribulation, but it does mean that ultimately the Lord said, beloved, I wish above all things that you be in health and prosper, even as your soul prospers. It is not the will of God for us to be in a perpetual state of turmoil, struggle, contention, confusion, chaos. That comes from hell. Hell gets pleasure out of that. He says we're striving and envying is every evil work. You know what? It's good for the brethren to dwell together in unity. Make a decision to say, before I enter into 2017, I make a decision to identify the areas where I've been blocking myself because I'm too lazy to exercise my faith. Are you sowing? Are you praying? Are you meditating? Are you asking the Lord to be ye separate from folks who want to hold you back in time, who want to remind you of your filthy sins, who don't want to come up with solutions, but only want to remind you of why the situation is the way it is now? You know what? The blocks can be avoided. Some blocks we bring on ourselves and some blocks we allow into it. It says don't give any place to the devil. You know what? The enemy wants to diminish your brand. He wants you to look like a bum. He wants to strip you of your luster, of your shine, of the goodness of God, and don't allow that to happen. When we spend time in prayer, when we spend time repeating and speaking, not what the world says, but what the Lord promised us, then guess what it does? It refines us. It sharpens us. Take time to sharpen us all. Take time to understand that the blocks won't stop God. Your thinking can block God because you didn't renew your mind and you want to start thinking about other things or why it won't work for you. But if you follow God's plan, it's going to work for you. It may take some time, but eventually you'll see the end of that thing that you've been believing for. I don't know who this was for today, but I'm here to let you know the blocks won't stop God. He executes righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. He will restore to you the years that the cankerworm and the locust have consumed. Pray and earnestly seek God and ask him, where are the blocks in my life that are not from you? Lord, I need to be able to move forward and I don't know what to do next. Humble yourself and ask him, and he will give you an answer. Until next time, shalom.